Hey guys, welcome in. It is Brad with College SportsCast, and we here in a minute are here to do our weekend wrap up show, week 37, season 2.
We executed.
I heard a fan offer free Dippin' Dots if I blew it.
Wanted to have some fun, execute.
I had bombs.
Stay as a team, execute, give 100%.
Dippin' Dots sound good.
Hey guys, welcome in. It is Brad with College SportsCast. I have John Roberts here joining me today. What's up, John?
What's going on? Are you able to hear me? Because I'm in a different location. So
Okay, well, I can hear you, but there's something going on in the background.
there's a lot of background noise going on. That's what's going on.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So I'm actually at a brewery, Gahaba Brewery here in Birmingham. I don't have the best location. I probably am going to at some point turn around so that the light is probably better, so you can see my face.
I
got a lot of light. I got a lot of light behind me.
Right.
I just rolled up in here, so I'm probably going to swap to the other side in just a second. But yeah, just give me a second. So yeah.
All right.
Yep.
I will. There you go, man. I gave you a second there. All right, guys. So while he's getting situated, I will talk about our Facebook page. So our Facebook page this morning, we crossed over 2K on our Facebook page. I told you guys our Facebook page has been growing rapidly. We have picked up in the last 7 days, we have picked up nearly 500 new followers on our Facebook page. We have been growing very rapidly. Wait a minute, I said 7 days. The last 7 days, we've done over 200. Over 28 days, we've done over 500 followers and picked up that many. But if you guys are watching on Facebook, there are 2 ways you can help support us. Now you can send us stars, and that helps us to earn money to make more content here. Also, for 99 cents a month, you can subscribe to our College Sportscast subscriber group. And that I have been posting a little bit of insider information on there when I get it. Right now, it's mainly to do with Kentucky stuff, but I'm also getting a little bit of other stuff put in there as well. And you can subscribe or send stars. And as always, be active on our Facebook page. Hit likes, make comments, and all that kind of stuff helps us as well. So that is it on our Facebook. I'm going to bring John back in. He might be situated here. Are you ready to go?
Yes, I am ready to go. Yep. I just switched around, so now I've got the light in my face.
Yeah, I can see.
Behind me, and now you can see my face. Yeah,
I can see.
Podcasting is visual medium, so that's it.
Yes, yeah, I can definitely see you a lot better. So, John, if you can't hear me, we crossed over 2,000 on our Facebook page this morning. So we are growing and got a lot going on. John is now a media member for Auburn baseball. I am for Kentucky women's basketball, and we've got a lot going on, and we are growing quite rapidly. So we're here to do our weekend wrap-up show. Right now, we got college baseball going on. There's a lot of big series going on in college baseball. John, I know you're paying attention to what's going on this weekend in the baseball world.
Yeah, that's correct. We got a lot of stuff going on. Let's see. Condon just hit his 26th home run yesterday. I got to see what he's been doing today. But he's at 26, still leading the. I believe he's still leading the country right now. Jack Caglione hit his 22nd, I think, so he's not too far behind.
Yeah.
Travis Pizzana's up there as well. So yeah, there's a lot of guys that are having some big days. Auburn's still struggling. Kentucky, it was tied the last time I saw it. So they were 1-1 with the series with Tennessee, but they had
been a
tied.
back and forth. It's been a back and forth day for Kentucky and Tennessee. Tennessee is retaking the lead here late. But it's been a back and forth day. Tennessee jumped out 2-0. Kentucky went up 6-2. Tennessee went back up 7-6. Kentucky went back up 8-7. Then it was tied at 8-8. I mean, it's just been back and forth and crazy. So the game has been nuts. I've been watching it. It's like this Tennessee lineup, they're pretty lethal.
Oh yeah, just about everybody 1 through 9 can hit it out of there. So
yeah, they're pretty lethal, I have to say.
And not just that, but like look at the batting average. Just about everybody's got a pretty high batting average as well. So they're hitting home runs and they're hitting for just for average as well. So that team is very offensive. So they offend me every time I see them. So
they're pretty lethal. I have to give them that. I mean, that's for sure. So Kentucky and Tennessee are for 4 this weekend. South Carolina and Arkansas playing a big series this weekend. Where do you want to start?
So South Carolina and Arkansas, you had Hagan go yesterday, Hagan Smith, and he was pretty good. I mean, up there still striking out as many people as he can. I think he got 100. He hit 100 strikeouts for the season yesterday, or not yesterday, but Friday night. Sorry, Friday night. Arkansas won that game, game 1. Which, what's crazy right now is that Arkansas is, I think, 4-3 or 4-4 now on the road. They're 4-4 on the road in 2 road games. They're 1-1 at this current South Carolina series, and then I think they swept Auburn and Auburn. So that was, unless Auburn's one win was against Arkansas, I can't remember. So yeah, it's been that kind of a season for Auburn, but South Carolina's Arkansas is just. I guess they're kind of average on the road because the other 2, I know they lost 2 out of 3 at Bama. So
yeah.
So that was 2 of those losses were there. 1 loss is at South Carolina. And maybe
I think they bounced back.
I
think they bounced back and they won 2 out of 3 against South Carolina this weekend, I believe.
They would have to have won the game today. So if they won the game today, then yes, they won 2 out of 3. So I have to go take a look at it. I've been running around all day, so I'm actually getting ready to pull up the scores for today. So
I'm trying to look too, but I thought I saw earlier. I believe they played a doubleheader yesterday.
Did they? Okay, well, I saw game 1. And
I think they played a doubleheader yesterday and played a late one last night.
Okay, well then I did not see the late one last night. So it looks like Tennessee has got a 13-9 lead over Kentucky right now. I'm just going to go look at the SEC scores. Missouri has taken a 2-0 lead over LSU in the bottom of the 4th. And I'm trying to just scroll down until I can see Auburn's second game. Auburn's got a doubleheader today. I think they're losing game 1, if I'm not mistaken.
Missouri's trying to take this series versus LSU.
Yeah, well, LSU's not good. So, yeah. It's 3-1 right now. Mississippi State. Oh, that's the final already. So, they already went final in the first game. 3-1 Mississippi State. So, they took the series. Game 3 will be played sometime within the next 45 minutes because I don't know exactly what time that game ended. But, yeah. So, the next game should be pretty soon.
Yeah. So, like I said, this Kentucky-Tennessee game, I've been watching it on ESPN or SEC Plus, and it's been a wild back and forth game. Like they can just hit the ball out of the park anytime they want to. It seems like innings, and they're behind 13-9. So I mean,
Yeah, I mean, look, with Kentucky, they've got a pretty devastating lineup themselves. If we look at what they had or what they've got, that Waldschmidt is just a guy that sets the table. Petrie and Burks, those are guys that are just been hitting pretty good. Nicky Lopez has been on fire, and Ryan Nicholson as well. I love their home run celebration, which is like the 3 Spider-Man pointing at each other. You. So that's actually kind of funny seeing that. But yeah, I mean, up and down the lineup. I mean, look, Nicky Lopez has got one of the best mustaches in college baseball. All right, he's got it right here where it is. He's got the wax where it comes up like this. McCoy has got the handlebars going pretty good right now. So you go look at him. He's got the handlebars. Yeah. I mean, look, that whole entire lineup is. I mean, if they're not hitting it out, I mean, they're still just a very pesky lineup. They can drive pitch counts up. Drive pitchers insane with the fact that they can that they're just really hard to get at.
Yeah. So, I mean, they've got a great lineup too, but I'm gonna tell you, this Tennessee team is taking its toll on them today. Like I said, they've taken the lead twice in the game, but Tennessee looks like it's in the top of the 9th now. It's 13-9. So we'll see how it ends here. But if Tennessee wins, this will be the first series loss for Kentucky this season. SEC.
Right. I mean, yesterday was only the second SEC loss total. Period.
Yeah.
And the first one was against Missouri early in the season.
A 2-1. It was a 2-1 game. Yeah. So even if they lose, Kentucky is still going to be the overall leader in the SEC.
Yes, because A&M and Arkansas have more than 2 losses in the SEC right now. So Kentucky will still remain as the number 1 overall SEC.
Even if they lose, they'll be 15-3. Arkansas is 14-4. And I think that's what A&M is if they win.
No, A&M has already played their 3 games. They were at Bama. They were at Bama. Then they took 2 out of 3 against Bama. They lost game 3 yesterday. They were a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Bama. That right there leads me to my next point. Bama for the back-to-back weeks has hosted the number 1 team in the country. They hosted Arkansas last weekend. They took 2 out of 3, knocked them out of the number 1 rankings. Texas A&M took the number 1 rankings, went into Bama, and then they took 2 out of 3 from Bama. Where the game 3 was Saturday, and I think it was like a 10-9 Alabama win. So it was a squeaker. It was one of those where it's still just very offensive driven because the two teams just can hit, and especially Texas A&M can mash with the three guys that they've got. Laviolette, Montgomery, and I'd have to go look at the lineup. There's one other guy that's in there that just absolutely mashes. But, yeah, Laviolette and Montgomery are the ones that are definitely the smashers. And Montgomery came from Stanford, so he was an outfielder that was playing at Stanford, got out of there, and he is now
isn't Texas A&M one game behind Arkansas in the West? I think Arkansas leads 14 and 4.
Let's take a look. So as of let me update this so I can see it. So Texas A&M is 13 and 5. Arkansas is 14 and 4. Yep.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, they're one game behind Arkansas.
Kentucky is 15 and 2. If they lose, they'll be 15 and 3 and still leading the SEC.
Correct.
Overall.
Correct. At SEC overall, they will be the leader in the clubhouse. After A&M, you should have, I believe, Tennessee is 11 and 6. Vanderbilt is 10 and 8. Mississippi State's 9 and 8, and they will be playing the next game, game 3 in that series coming up in just a minute.
Right.
So at the moment, yeah, they're 9 and 8. They're right behind Vanderbilt. That's 10 and 8. You've got Georgia that's 9 and 9 at the moment. South Carolina also 9 and 9. Florida is 8 and 10. Alabama's 7 and 11. And then you've got Ole Miss at 6 and 12. Missouri at 6 and 11. LSU at 4 and 13, and Auburn at 2 and 14, which is actually 2 and 15 because they're one game away.
So, what has happened to LSU? Is it pitching?
Well, they've got one of the better pitchers. Holman is like their Friday night starter is fine. It's everything else, and but yeah, I mean, pitching is probably not great. Hitting, they lost a lot of hitting from last year's team. They still got some back, but.
I mean, they still have Tommy Tanks.
You still got Tommy Tanks, but you lost Morgan, your first baseman. You lost your center fielder. Your catcher is up and down.
You lost Dylan Cruz.
Yeah. So yeah, lost Morgan, and yeah. So, but Klinger or whatever his name is, he's was pretty good last year. You had Tommy Tanks that was good last year, but it just doesn't seem like they're all able to, I guess, protect each other in the lineup like they were with the other when we had the big bats from the year ago. So,
well, I've been watching some SEC baseball lately, and from the announcers as they were explaining and talking about LSU, I basically heard them saying that their Sunday starter is terrible.
Makes sense. So if you're winning Friday, you're not winning Saturday. If you don't win Saturday, then Sunday you've got to try to get the rubber game, and they've just lost all those games.
Yeah. Right. Our head to the bottom of the ninth. Tennessee is ahead 13-9. The bottom of the ninth is beginning right now. Kentucky is up to plate, and I've got it on over here. So I'm kind of give you a little bit of update. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I've got it on SEC Plus. So yeah.
That graphic had said that there were 17 combined home runs in this series so far. So that's
yes.
Yeah.
And Kentucky's hit their fair share.
And you know what? That might have been true with the Kentucky Auburn series. It was just that it was 11 home runs by Kentucky.
Yeah. Well, here it's probably like 10 or 11 by Tennessee. And, well, I don't know. It's probably 10. It's probably 10-7 or something like that in this series, as far as home runs.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah,
I've seen them. Look, Kentucky's got their fair share of it. So, yeah.
I mean they've hit some of them too, but Tennessee's got more. It's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is at Kentucky Proud Park, so I was hoping they'd come out of here with a win, but it looks like they might not.
Well, you've broken attendance records the first two games.
We have
over 7,000 yesterday in the loss.
Yes, and I wanted to bring that up because I've done a little research this weekend and been following a few people, and apparently breaking 7,000 home attendance has only happened to 13 other teams.
Well, there's not that many. Here's the problem. There's not that many teams that have big ballparks that can do that anyway. So, like, Mississippi State's got one that can break that. Arkansas's got one that can break that. LSU's got one that can break that. Florida might have one that can break that. South Carolina might be able to have one that can break that. And then once you get beyond that, there's not a ton of teams that have
Solo shot, by the
ballparks.
way. Solo shot, it's 13-10.
So you're ahead of me. So that's number 2. That's up to bat. What is there it goes. Well,
solo shot, by the way.
Yep. One out.
Yeah.
One out with nobody on. So anyway, like I said, those ballparks right there, Texas might have Texas A&M have got big enough ballparks, I believe, to be able to do that. I don't know what the West Coast looks like as far as the size of their ballparks. Oregon State's ballpark's not that big, but they're a team that could do it if they
if
they had a big enough ballpark.
Either Kentucky was the 13th or there was 13 before them. I'm not sure which one it was.
Doesn't really matter. I mean, like I said, there's not that many teams that have enough that have ballparks that are that big that are big enough to do
that. Is nuts, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah. So, but I mean, this is one of those where baseball has not been this widely popularized. Oh my God, he hit another one? There's another one?
It's back to back. They went back to backyard right here.
Jesus.
Solo shots. This game is nuts.
Who is that hit that one?
I wasn't paying attention. I'm not sure.
I'm trying to see where they are in the lineup.
They just went back to back solo shots. McCarthy's next.
Was that Lopez? No, that wasn't Lopez. That was
Lopez.
No. Not Lopez, but the first baseman. Nicholson. That might have been Nicholson right there.
That was Nicholson. I bet it was Nicholson.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think that was Nicholson. So
yeah, I think it was Nicholson. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have great Wi-Fi here, so my phone just froze. So all I know is
I'm
that
not
they
facing
were meeting
it,
at the
I'm
mound.
trying to turn my head to watch real quick. But this game has been nuts. I mean, just nuts.
Okay, here we go. Said McCarthy is up now. So it's 13-11, one out, and
yeah. So we just said they had 17 home runs combined. Now there's 19 apparently in this series
19.
because they just went back to back. Yeah. Yeah, this series has been nuts. This game today has been nuts.
Well, it's a normal Sunday shootout game. You know, Sunday is a game where the score just gets run up because pitching is low and you end up having a lot more offense.
Mason Moore started this game, And in the sixth inning, the start of the sixth inning, Tennessee only had 2 runs.
Did he come out at that point?
Yes. They got like the bases loaded.
Your bullpen blew it.
They got like the bases loaded, and they took him out, and then it's just been, it's just been like a slugfest ever since.
Yeah. So, right. So I know we're still talking about the Tennessee-Kentucky game, but if we move around the SEC, or we really start talking about pitching, look, pitching within the SEC is insane right now. So you've got guys that can pitch. We're seeing a lot of offense, but you've got your frontline starters are actually pretty good out there. You talked about Mason Moore. Mason Moore is actually Kentucky's best strikeout pitcher.
Yes, and he's their Sunday guy, and actually maybe one of the best Sunday pitchers in the SEC.
Well, I mean, look, you could say that, but you got Jack Caglione, who is also a Sunday starter. So let's so he is a top Sunday guy, yes. However, Jack Caglione is going to probably be the number 1 Sunday guy just because of what he is able to do there. He is a much better, more prolific strikeout guy.
They got the tying run on, by the way.
They do. With Devin Burks, your 9-hole hitter. He's batting 9th today. So
he is,
and he's already hit a home run today.
He did, and he pulled a hamstring at midweek, and he's playing hurt.
Yes, and he was. They had to stretch him out sometime earlier in this game. He had he was. I saw him squat over like that. So yeah.
He's actually playing hurt, and he hit a home run. He actually hit Kentucky's first home run today, I think. Yeah. So it is a absolute crazy game.
Yeah.
What's up, Ham?
Yeah, he's up there blowing us up in the chat here.
On here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
what's going on with Auburn?
What's going on with Auburn?
What's going on with Auburn baseball?
All right, so pitching has not been great. If you really want to start going into it, I think so at the end of last series, so we were looking at the end of the Kentucky series, and I'm going to start throwing out some numbers to you, okay? And I want to know if you think this is bad or if this is good. Okay?
All right. Yeah.
All right. So through the last 3 series, so we're going to talk about the A&M, the Tennessee, and the Kentucky series. So when I start saying 9 games, previous 9 games, I'm not including the Mississippi State because I haven't looked at the numbers during the Mississippi State series. So it's going to only be the Kentucky series, the Tennessee series, and the A&M series, which is the previous 3 series that Auburn's played. All right. So in the previous 3 series, Auburn pitching has given up 95 runs.
That's 10 a game, 10 and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. They scored 56. So you're looking at 10.6 to 6.
Right.
Or 54 runs. Sorry, 54 runs. So yeah. You're 10.6 to 6 is what you're looking at as far as an average score over those 9 games. So they're losing. They're not scoring enough runs. They're giving up a lot of runs. In that stretch, they gave up 34 home runs. That's about 9 a game. That's about 9. 9
in 9 games. They've given up 34 home runs.
It's about 4 home runs a game.
Yeah, that's not good.
Not good at all. No. That helps with teams scoring 10.6 runs when they can hit 4. You get 4 home runs. Yeah. So yeah, that's not great. I'm trying to see what else I had in here because I had a lot of other things that were going on. So Auburn had. Now this is in that final game. So in that final game against Kentucky, Auburn had 14 free base runners. All right, they had 9. Kentucky pitching had surrendered 9 walks, had hit 3 guys, and committed 2 errors. Auburn scored 1 run off of all of it. That was it. Auburn had 7-0 lead, and they blew it against Kentucky because
they did have a 7-0 lead on the Sunday game. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Saturday, it was the 3rd game of the series, but yeah, Saturday. I was there. I saw it. I was.
Yeah,
I sent you the picture where I'm sitting right under. I'm behind home plate with the score right above my head, saying 7-0 Auburn. I went into the press box and it went the other way. It went south in a hurry.
Well, Kentucky scored 13 straight runs.
Yes, and then Auburn scored 1 after that with a solo shot by Eric Guevara, the freshman third baseman.
Game over.
They lost.
Yeah.
Fly ball to right field.
Yeah, fly ball to right field. They brought a new pitcher in, throwing 95, 96 for the last out, and they win 13-11.
Yeah, so to get back with Auburn, Auburn's problem is they can't throw strikes. They don't have a pitcher that can throw strikes consistently enough to be able to get guys out. They don't have a swing and miss guy. They've got several guys that can do it for maybe an inning or 2, and that's it. They can't do it consistently for 4, 5, 6 innings. They don't have a starter that can get past the 5th. So the bullpen is heavily taxed. So the bullpen is not great. They're not.
Sound like Jay, by the way, John.
Huh?
I sound like Hammonds. He sounds like Jay.
Well.
No, Hammonds.
Because he's
saying
he's
the ears hearing.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. He sounds like him, or sounds like Jay.
Yeah. So
you know why I'm saying that.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. But that right there is just, it's one of those where the pitching's not been great, but now the hitting has started to suffer as well. It's following suit. It's taking it took a little bit longer but anyway, yeah. So the Auburn pitching has been bad. The hitting has followed suit. So now that's where they've gone, and that's why they've only won 2 games in the SEC, and why they're in danger of going sub 500 overall at the end of.
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question then. So I know he's been there a long time. I know he's got a great reputation. Been in the game a long time.
The answer is no.
Is he in any kind of trouble? Is Butch in any kind of trouble at Auburn?
No.
Okay. I mean, I don't know, so I just had to throw it out there. You know.
No, if they do anything, they would be going after probably T-Ford, the pitching coach. I mean, if there's any sort of move, it may be him, but that would be, something that they may look at the conclusion of the season. John, Auburn won't make the SEC tournament if they stay where they are. So the seed would be not made.
Yeah. Not everybody qualifies, John, in baseball for the SEC.
12 out of the 14 right now, you're looking at Auburn and LSU missing the tournament.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I just had to throw that out there. I know that he is very well respected, had been in the game a long time, and
Yep.
And lots and lots and lots of people love the job that he has done, not only at Auburn but previously in different places throughout his career. So,
Right.
you know,
And let's be clear here too. So there are a couple of guys that are freshmen or that were transfer ins that they thought were going to have much higher ceilings or that were going to pitch much better than they have this year. One of those is Cam Tilly, and the other one is Dylan Watts. Okay, these are guys that came in. One was a transfer in, one's a true freshman. Now, Tilly and Watts could easily be the guys next year that take over the program and become, stud Friday, Saturday pitchers. They could. They
right.
had a guy, Connor McBride. Now, Connor McBride is like I think this is his last season, but McBride kind of showed glimpses. The starter today showed glimpses, but the problem is I think he's on his last season as well. He's the same guy that started that third Kentucky game, and did really well until he got pulled. Once he got pulled, the bullpen went south.
That's kind of what happened to Mason Moore today, really. I mean, kind of.
Right.
Was doing pretty good. Like I said, they only had 2 runs. They got bases loaded in the 6th. They took out Mason Moore, and then we lose 13-11 in 9 today.
Yeah, well, at least your offense was able to still produce, whether you were able to have
they
your
were
pitching went south or whatever, but your offense was still able to produce, whereas Auburn's offense has kind of gone south. Again, some of that is they've got a couple of guys with hand injuries. Ike Irish has got one. That's why he hadn't been catching. That's why he's been playing.
I was going to ask you, is Ike back healthy yet or no?
No, he's not healthy. He's still got a hand issue. That's why he's playing out in the outfield and not playing and not behind home plate. The problem is that he can't fully grip the bat too, but he's been trying to push through.
I know he
that.
played DH. Didn't he DH a game or 2 against Kentucky?
Yeah, they don't want to take him out of the line. There was one game he didn't even start. He didn't come in that third game. He didn't come in until the end of the game. He got 2 at bats at the end. Which he hasn't looked himself because he can't fully grip the bat. So
he'll be back next year as well, won't he, Ike?
Yes. Yeah, as long as he's not a draftable player, but at the moment, it just depends on if the major leagues are looking at drafting him now or not. I don't know if he's draft eligible at the end of this season, like a draft eligible sophomore. If not, then yes, he will be back. And
it has to do with his age and birthday.
It would be where his birthday falls.
And
his
I'm
birthday
not sure
falls
what
in the
that
summer.
is. Yeah.
So, Mason Mainers has also been dealing with a hand injury, a very similar injury that Ike Irish has, but apparently Ike's been playing in the outfield, whereas Mason Mainers not as much. Then you've got Bobby Pierce, who has been just a great defensive outfielder, but last year and the previous 2 or 3 years, he's been a much more has contributed a lot more hitting. Hadn't really done much this year. So they have gotten the freshman Cade Ballou, who is from Auburn. And this guy is a guy that could, again, be one of those guys that takes over. He is from what I understand, a 5-tool player, can be the fastest guy on the team, has a hand cannon for an arm, almost threw a guy out today, throwing behind at second base. He's been playing left field right now, but could move over and be a right fielder or a center fielder as well. Stanfield has not hit well this year, but he still is such a defender and has got the speed and understands how to play center field that you want him to still be in the lineup as much as you can with him. And then in the infield, it's just been you've had a couple of stalwarts. So you've had Cooper McMurray, who's one of the better hitters in the SEC overall because he's hitting around 360 or so. And he's done that both, overall and in the SEC. He is hitting about 360. He still supplies the power, and he is hitting for the average. And so they've kind of moved him around between the second in the lineup and fourth in the lineup. And then Cooper Weiss, who leads the country in stolen bases. He's got like 23 or 24, 25 stolen bases. He's had several times where he's stolen about 3, 4, or 5 bases in a game. So he just understands how to get a walking lead on a team,
19,
and then just takes it off. I know he's over 20 now. He's around 23 or so. So he's definitely the SEC leader in stolen bases. I think he is also a leader in the country. So, but yeah.
All right. Well, I wanted to give you a chance. I mean, like I said, I know that Butch will probably get things turned around. They started out slow last year and then went like 12-3 the last half of the SEC. I don't really see that happening this time. I really don't.
I don't think so. I mean, they may win 5 or 6 games, but that's also starting to look less and less likely. So,
I don't think that will happen. If you are just joining us, Kentucky lost a few minutes ago, 13-11 to Tennessee in the rubber match game here today. So Tennessee wins the series 2-1. It is Kentucky's first SEC series loss of the year. They are 15-3 and still lead the SEC overall and lead the East by 3 games over Tennessee. Tennessee's now 12-6, and Kentucky is 15-3, even though Tennessee took the series. So I just wanted to give a quick little update on that. And on the West, Arkansas leads 14-4, and Texas A&M is 13-5 in second place in the West. All right. Is there anything else as far as score-wise that you want to go over for SEC baseball?
No. I mean, we pretty much have covered through everybody. Like we said, I think Bama took 2 out of 3 against.
LSU has tied Missouri 2-2 in the top of the 6th.
Yes, they are currently batting in the top of the 6th right now. Nobody out.
That game,
1 on. So,
that game is still currently going on.
Correct. And then Auburn will start in about 15 minutes. So,
the winner of the Missouri LSU game will win the series. That's the rubber match too, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
I know LSU won.
I'm going to jump. Yeah, and Missouri won 1. So they won yesterday like 8-7 or 9-8 or something. It was a 1-run game. I know that. So I'm going to jump to some Kentucky women's basketball stuff. I've got to chime in here a little bit. Coach Brooks is doing an absolute fantastic job on the recruiting trail here. This past week, about 2 or 3 days ago, he signed 4 new players. It was the opening day for signing period in the spring here, and he signed 4 new players. Lexi Blue, who is a top 40 in the 2024 class. She is a 6'2" shooting guard with range. And the greatest thing about her, she's from Florida, and she has led her high school team to 5, not 4, 5 straight state championships. 5. That's not too shabby in a career. I mean, if you can win 5 straight high school state championships, that's not too bad, I wouldn't think. and she's got range. So she's going to be fun to watch. And he's also brought in some international players. One from Australia that is 6'7", and she's not rated because she's not from the States. But ESPN says if she was from the States, she would be in the top 10. That's not too bad for a Kentucky women's program. I think he's putting together a team that can contend for a top 10, top 15, top 20 team next year. I really do. And it'll be in his very first season. So, of course, he's got a little help. The transfer portal and all this that's going on. He did get 2 players that came with him from Virginia Tech. And 3 of the players that he signed was committed to him at Virginia Tech. So they have just come over with him to Kentucky. So that helps. Lexi Blue was one of them. Lexi Blue, the one I was just talking about. In today's world, when coaches leave and go somewhere else, the players can just go with them. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yep.
You know, the players can go with them, you know, and I'm not – there's part of me that's not okay with that. In this case, I'm pretty excited about it. But the truth is I'm not really – like I grew up and there was some meaning and some loyalty to a school. And now there's so many people in the transfer portal. I mean, it's basically there is no loyalty. There is no meaning. There is no tradition. There is no history. I mean, let's get to some transfer portal stuff. What about the Auburn, Alabama stuff going on down there? I gotta ask you about it. What was going on down there about Holloway?
All right, so let's start with the other 2 guards that have left Auburn. Okay, so Auburn lost now 3 guards. Okay, so they've lost
Katie Johnson,
Katie Johnson, who signed with George Mason. Okay, or is committed to George Mason. They lost Trey Donaldson, who is now committed up to Michigan. Okay, and now Aiden Holloway, who is by far should have been the more talented out of the 3. You know, coming out of high school, he's the more talented. He was a 5-star.
He's the most.
Coming out of high school, he was a 5-star rated guard, known for his shooting, and but for whatever reason, he started out hot. He could hit it from all over the place, and then he just
once SEC play started, he struggled.
He couldn't shoot. He couldn't hit the ocean if he shot out of the boat. If he just shot it out of the boat. Whatever. Anyway, it was so he goes and makes the trip to Alabama, commits to Alabama, all right? But then he tells a reporter that, he was sold a dream. Things were going well, and then all of a sudden Auburn, Bruce Pearl, went in a different direction. Buddy, they went in a different direction because you weren't shooting well. Yeah. That's what happened. Okay. Yeah. They went in a different direction because you were soft on the court.
He didn't even Pearl didn't even start him the last half of the SEC
because he got into a point where he was in a funk that he was in a mental pretzel at that point because he was turning the ball over as a point guard, which is something that you don't need to be doing. And then he was taking shots and couldn't hit them. And look, I don't have a problem with him taking shots, but you got to be able to hit them. And he was not. Overall, he was less than 30% or 30% or whatever, and it was not great at all. That's a season long after he started out.
But in SEC play,
not very good.
In SEC play, I think he was around 20% from the 3-point line. I think.
Yeah, in that Yale game, he played 13 minutes and was over the field.
I mean, he was bad. Like he shot really bad in once SEC play starts.
Correct.
But here's my question, and I kind of started this off with this. So used to, if you went to Auburn or if you went to Alabama, there is no way on the face of this earth that you would wind up transferring to the rival school. I mean, you just wouldn't do that. I mean,
we've had it happen in football a few times, so it's not drastically uncommon. But the last time that an Auburn something went to Alabama was when Alabama poached Auburn's assistant baseball coach, got him, and then he went to Alabama. This is Brad Bohannon, and he then got caught cheating and can't coach in the NCAA for 18 years.
nice.
Made the wrong bet.
I just wanted to know what the buzz was. So Broom also put his name in the transfer portal and then wound up returning to come back.
So
Which
Chad
I
Baker-Mazara and Johnny Broom are both, as of right now, are committed to come back. Yeah.
But I thought it was kind of weird that Broom wanted to put his name in the portal to begin with. I mean, he's done so well down there, I thought.
He's more of NBA or stay.
Yeah.
I think. So,
yeah.
But Auburn
I can
picked
see
up
that.
But Auburn picked up a guard from Furman, Pegues. So that one right there is a guy that is supposed to be, not only is he taller, because Auburn hasn't had a tall guard. Okay. They haven't had anybody that was 6. I mean, like, look, Holloway was what, 6'1", 6'2"?
6'2", yeah. That's about the tallest guard they've had in a long time.
Pegues is 6'6", maybe, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're upgrading.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But you also got to think about this. You also got to think about this.
about
When you look at Auburn and Alabama Twitter, because this is what's funny. Okay, so Auburn and Alabama Twitter have been going back and forth at each other about losing Aiden Holloway or gaining Aiden Holloway. All right, and it going to the rival school. Nobody's talking about that Alabama is losing Riley Griffin, that he is transferring out, and that dude was their shooter.
Yeah.
He was their shooter. Now, Sears is going pro, so we're not really worried about – I mean, like, I'm not really going to say anything
Sears
about that.
is testing the waters going
He's
pro.
testing the water to go pro. But
Yeah.
Sears is the one, like, look, I'm not really going to sit there and go replacing Sears. I'm talking about replacing Rylan Griffin, because Rylan Griffin's
right.
All right?
Yeah.
They were also talking about how their big man that was the best player on the team is coming back, and he should be going pro. Well, that was Grant Nelson for Alabama.
Is Nelson coming back, or is he?
He's coming back. Yeah,
he is.
Yeah.
What about didn't Pringle?
Pringle is out. He's transferring out.
That's what I thought.
But he was more of a disciplinary problem, which is saying something for Alabama, because Nate Oates has had several disciplinary issues, especially with somebody firing guns. Or having the gun that got So let's
I got you.
Take this with a grain of salt here.
Yeah. All right, let me jump to Kentucky basketball, because Kentucky fans up here have been throwing every kind of crap like stuff. They've been going nuts because Kentucky has 6 players that put their name in the portal, okay? Well, they lost their coach. He moved on. We're all pretty happy about that here in Kentucky. I know Arkansas is happy too right now, but I got a feeling that's going to be short-lived, but I'm not even going to go there right now. What I want to say is this. It's okay, guys. It's the new way. It's how things work when coaches leave. Arkansas, guess what? Everybody is going crap up here because Kentucky has 6 players in the portal. Guess how many players Arkansas has in the portal? 8. Guess how many players Duke has in the portal? And they didn't lose a coach. 7. Duke has 7 players in the portal. So it's okay. Chill out.
It's the nature of the beast when you're bringing in high profile players either through the portal or through high school ranks that are 5 stars, and a lot of these big programs and the blue bloods that are out there like Duke, Kentucky, North Carolina.
Do you know how many players?
Whatever.
Do you know how many players currently Duke has on its roster from last year's team?
Probably 2 or 3.
2. They have 2 from last year's team.
And again,
on the roster.
that is the nature of the beast of the portal. And so, look, Auburn replaced its starting lineup and put its starting lineup as its backup, which is why Auburn was able to play 10 or 11 players last year, is because they brought in a whole new lineup that was that they brought in a whole new lineup, with having an Aiden Holloway, right? So they could have Katie Johnson sit on the bench, or you had Denver Jones, which again, this one he's getting a lot of crap. But if you hadn't watched Auburn played really well with Denver Jones played really well in the last half of the SEC play, going into tournament play and stuff like that. He actually did really well. So Denver Jones with Pegues is going to be a pretty heck of a lineup. Now they've lost Trey and they've lost KD, so we don't have the depth anymore. So that's the problem now. Problem is that
I've seen it just a day. I think maybe Friday night. I seen it. I heard that Auburn could be the favorite right now. I mean, in the SEC for next year. I mean, we don't know.
We'll have to see what the depth looks like, because that's what you're looking at now. Caldwell is also coming back
because we don't know what Arkansas is going to look like. We don't know what Kentucky is going to look like. I mean, there's some teams we're not sure what they're going to look like just yet either.
Right. But it's still just the fact is that the depth piece from Auburn's perspective, without seeing sight unseen on a lot of players that are coming in, you don't know what you're getting, and you won't know until they start playing. But that's going to be the issue right now for Auburn. I think Auburn's starting lineup will still be fine, because you're going to have, again, Chad Baker-Massaro, Johnny Broome, Geese, Denver Jones, and you're going to have Caldwell come back. So Caldwell will be a more of a depth piece, but still, you're going to have players that are there. But the thing is you're not going to have you just won't have Aiden Holloway sitting on the bench, or Trey Donaldson sitting on the bench, or Katie Johnson sitting on the bench. You've got to go and find other guys. They're going to bring in guys. They're bringing in guys.
Yeah, they're going to bring in guys. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So,
but I just wanted to say, Kentucky fan, chill out. He's on the hunt. He's hosted a recruit all weekend long. He's close to another right now. I'm hearing good news about John L. Davis as a possibility. I don't know that that's going to happen, but as a possibility. And he's on the hunt for a few other pretty good players as well. So, I mean, you're just going to have to let it all play out and see what happens. And he will field a pretty good team. I feel pretty confident of that.
Yeah.
But, I know the Reed Shepherd news was a little disheartening, but the dude is a top 4 to a top 10 pick in the NBA draft. I mean, you can't pass that up.
Right.
If
you're a lottery pick, might as well go.
Yeah. And he's guaranteed. I've seen him as high as top 4. So, I mean, you have to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. John, it's been good. We haven't been on for a while, so I thought we would come on and do a little bit of our weekend wrap-up show. I know you were out at the local brewery, so I'll let you have some fun, and we will wrap this up for today. And I appreciate you coming on with me. and we will see you guys this week. Okay, John, it's been good.
Yep.
I will. We will revene again. Maybe me and you next Sunday and do another baseball show.
There you go. Got it.
All right, guys.
All right.
Have a good night.